We're going to start with the Buffalo Bills.
Let's do it.
I don't know how we don't, because it was the marquee game of the weekend between the two MVP candidates at the quarterback spot, Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson, everyone assuming, is going to go back-to-back in that department because the 50 people who vote for the Associated Press in the MVP voting also vote for the All-Pro team, and they made Lamar Jackson the first-team All-Pro quarterback and Josh Allen the second-team All-Pro quarterback. And every single time you see the first-team All-Pro quarterback, the last 11 times have won the MVP award.
Yep.
If it was a quarterback. So we're assuming it's Lamar's world, and they're going to go into Buffalo, New York, and perhaps prove the point that many folks had all year long, that the Buffalo Bills were not ready for prime time as previous Buffalo Bills teams were. Not that Josh Allen isn't terrific, it's who else is around him. And the Ravens were going to go in and prove that correct. And they marched down the field to start the game and put it right in the end zone. Touchdown. And Rashad Bateman scored it too. Mm-hmm. And the Ravens were undefeated in a game in which Rashad Bateman had caught a touchdown all year long. But you know who was also undefeated at home all year long? The Buffalo Bills. And they came right back and marched down the field and popped it in the end zone. And it's 7-all. And here we go. And that's when the turnovers started to take place. And coming into this weekend, I gave you a top 5 going into the weekend of the top 5 matchups of divisional playoff weekend, and courtesy of Rich Eisen show, Bills Mafia favorite Mike Hoskins. He gave me the wording. He didn't think I was actually going to use the wording verbatim, but the matchup was Derrick Henry versus the 3 guys who were not there in week 4. And they were Taron Johnson, Terrell Bernard, and Matt Milano. And Matt Milano rushed the quarterback, got through, rushed the throw for Lamar Jackson, who airmailed it and threw it right to Taylor Rapp. Remarkably, that turnover led to no points. But you know what did later on? What did later on was Bernard popping the ball loose from Mark Andrews in the middle of the third quarter, right in the middle of the field. And the Bills aren't going to wow you. They're not going to wow you. There's not a lot of names that pop out. On defense, you could say there's one name that pops out. And sure enough, when Lamar Jackson tried to make something out of nothing, and why shouldn't he attempt to do that? Because that's what Lamar Jackson does, and that's why Lamar Jackson might be the back-to-back most valuable player of this league. But he tried to switch hands when he was already dead to rights, and the play was essentially over, and the ball goes down on the ground, and who picks it up? The name you definitely recognize from that defense, Von Miller.
Yep.
And the Super Bowl 50 MVP picks up the football, and that turnover does lead to points. And I bring these facts up to you. Milano wasn't there in week 4. Bernard wasn't there in week 4. Different result from week 4? Sure, because the turnovers that the Bills got and the mistakes that the Ravens made were mistakes that the Bills did not make. And they, once again, the Buffalo Bills did not turn the football over. This is going to be a theme throughout the day, people. A theme throughout the day. Because, yeah, the Ravens outgained the Bills. But, yeah, the Ravens turned the ball over, and the Bills did not. The Ravens made mistakes towards the end. 2-point conversion play that they choose to throw it in the air rather than run it down the throats of the Bills with Derrick Henry, who had just run it down the throats of the Bills to score a touchdown and make it a 2-point game. A 21-10 game was now a 21-19 game. They put it in the air. Who's the one who tips the 2-point play? Matt Milano. And then when they do score a touchdown at the end of the game, they go 2-point play. Mark Andrews, who had already fumbled, bless him. He is one of my favorite humans that I've gotten to meet. He drops the 2-point conversion, essentially ending the night for the Ravens. And the Buffalo Bills prevail, and they did not turn the ball over in this football game. And that is part and parcel of how they win football games, because they don't turn it over. Only 8 giveaways in 2024.
Wow.
The divisional round playoff win against the Ravens, who turned it over. It was the 12th game of 2024 with no giveaways for the Bills. That breaks a tie for the most such games in a season in the Super Bowl era. And you sit here and you go, how do the Buffalo Bills do it? That's how they do it. Josh Allen has as many rushing touchdowns as Lamar Jackson has giveaways. James Cook does his thing. Khalil Shakir does his thing. Mac Hollins does his thing, like showing up to the games in the way he shows up. And then he starts making a play here, a play there. He stirs it up here. He stirs it up there. And even when the Ravens have a terrific third quarter, the Bills move on because, as I said earlier this year, best team that Josh Allen's had. And I didn't see it coming, and a lot of us in the national media didn't see it coming. A lot of us chose the Dolphins to win the division this year. Some chose the Jets. Nobody chose the Patriots, but I think that's understandable. It's not a shot. It's the truth. And the Bills have the stuff, from the coach to the fan base to the team to the quarterback, that sure, they are not maybe the best filled with names team that Josh Allen has had, but they are the best sum of their parts, and they're going to Arrowhead to try and hand the Chiefs their first loss of the season at home, to leave the Bills as the only team this year to go undefeated at home. Resilient, strong, tough, made the plays, didn't make the mistakes. Simple as that. Josh Allen, after the game, had this to say about going to Arrowhead to take on their postseason nemesis.
We're excited. A lot of pride in that locker room. I said it in my post game. You know, we don't listen to the outside noise, but everyone was saying this and that about us, and we didn't have enough talent, weren't good enough to be in these positions, and our guys just continue to work hard, and we're internally driven. We love each other, and I think you saw how much we played for each other there.
I mean, that's it. That's exactly what I've been saying all year long, and that's not why I'm playing that soundbite. I'm playing that soundbite because it's the first time I've heard Josh Allen all year go talk about the narrative of nobody believed in us. Mm-hmm. He's kind of turned that down. And the fact that he's saying it now gives you an idea of how it's been bubbling beneath the surface. And the fact that he's now putting that out on the table before they go and take